Bless us on this What I've June into What I've July. Hey, welcome back to radio. Welcome back to the Mike Seibert Radio live stream podcast, where we are getting all set up for CybFest Northwest 2024, happening August 3rd in lovely Kent, Washington, about 20 miles south of Seattle. And as you can see, those of you watching on the video and the live stream, we have got a full crew tonight as we talk about CybFest Northwest 2024, and I would like to welcome in our friends from the Swerve's Bar podcast, and we've got a variety of folks that we are going to be talking about. They are occasionally robots and demons in disguise. So we're through this adventure. We are going to learn about their podcast. We're going to learn about their homebrewed D&D, but also we're going to learn about the spectacular panel exhibition that they will be doing at CybFest and the super cool stuff that they will be doing during the convention. So I am just going to welcome these folks. I think maybe in character, maybe not, maybe I don't.
Absolutely.
There.
Always
character.
Yeah. What do you mean?
This is who I am.
As you see on my little Chiron here, it's like, hi, I'm Mike Seibert, and that is my character. I am just Mike Seibert at all times.
What is a Chiron?
Hi, Mike.
Exactly. All right, so please welcome. I'm just going to kind of go. I think it'll be kind of counterclockwise or maybe clockwise for y'all. I love how I litigate Zoom video live in this kind of context. I know listeners and watchers just love legislation. I've been told multiple times that my audience loves legislation. But Onyx, how we doing tonight?
Oh, it's a day. It's going. I'm here, and I'm excited to talk about Swerve Bar podcast and our D&D homebrew transform and roll out. But I feel like introductions are needed first.
Quite so.
I'll pass the baton to our other co-host of Swerve's Bar, Clickbait.
Hi guys, I now have this figurative baton. I'm Clickbait. I appear on the panel. I will be appearing on the panel, and I do co-host both Swerve's Bar, and then I participate in the Transform and Rollout D&D as the current player of Mantix and Allegory. She's hanging in there, hanging around, and yeah, I suppose that's it for me. For right now.
And our other co-host of Swerve's Bar podcast, Kilobyte, will join us
I have
later.
the baton.
You have the baton.
It's still my turn to talk. If you want the baton, you have to have the baton back first. But I'm gonna pass the baton to Heximus instead because it's her turn.
Hi, thank you for the baton. Holding it close. The other co-host will be joining us hopefully shortly. We'll see.
Hopefully.
However, hi, my name is Hex. For those who don't know, I am a artist primarily. But I am also on the D&D podcast. Happy to be there. And currently, I think the only character that I have who is alive is Scorchfire Prime.
Wow, who's alive?
Oh,
for
no.
now.
Pour one out for those who couldn't be here with us. My goodness.
Voice of Energon.
That premium Energon.
Oh,
Onyx,
my.
we talked about this. We have to be respectful of the other co-hosts when they're not here.
I should mention I'm the DM, so they have standard hatred towards me sometimes.
Oh my premise! Here we go again.
Okay, well, I am excited to hear about all of that and more, but calling in reinforcements because I knew I was going to have I was going to be challenged hosting this particular live stream. I promised you it was going to get buck wild, but for the CybFest side of the chat, please welcome Whirl into the chat, joining me here.
Hello, Mike. Good to see you again.
So very soon, and you'll be seeing me again very, very soon.
Right after this.
Literally, much like last week, for those of you who checked out the live stream last week, where we revealed our exclusive figure for CybFest Northwest, Carbot Darcy. So it's 2 weeks, Too Furious, and then we're going to chat here for a couple hours, and then we're going to chat for another couple hours about CybFest.
Mike, you brought it up, so I have I've been working on a present for you today. You're my experiment.
Oh,
It's hard to see.
Woo!
Oh, look at it!
Oh my god.
Nice.
It says Two
That's
Mikes
so
Too
cute.
Furious on it, and
it
it's
does not.
It does. It's hard to see it on the camera, but it's got the blue and red. It's
Oh my gosh, that is amazing.
the problem is
You know,
that I
Mike,
still
they're
don't know how to close them. So there's just kind of some, like knots at the end.
This does
But-
beg the question. I did see on Twitter. Are we doing a friendship bracelet thing at CybFest? Is this something I've seen going on around the interwebs?
I stole the idea from Apollo because I was like, I've never done this before,
Was
and
Apollo?
it seems like a good way to try. So
I
have
think it's a fabulous
four
idea.
made right now, but I still don't know how to close them. I'm under the impression I need to buy some nail polish, and then they'll be good to go.
Oh.
Interesting.
I know, crazy.
Well, let's give a little context for folks that are just joining us. So Apollo, who is a fabulous fan artist and will be joining us at CybFest Northwest as well. She will have an artist table where she'll be selling arts and prints and I think some toys as well, and is actually accepting commissions as well for like little head sketches and stuff like that. But I've known Apollo for a number of years now, and the one thing that I do know is that she is a massive Swiftie. She's she's like right in the target demo for Taylor Swift's music. It seems like she appeals to middle schoolers and almost middle-aged folks. But anyway, like, and just in terms of like the way it resonates, because like a lot of the music that I'm into kind of resonates with me the same way. Like I was listening to like The Offspring not too long ago, and I'm like, man, this song hits so much harder at 45 than it did when I was 15. You know, just in terms of like, you know, existential angst. And so I mean, I get it. But my point being is Apollo is a huge Swiftie, and like when she came up to Seattle to see the Eras tour and was just gobsmacked with Swiftie culture, and a huge component of Swiftie culture, from what I understand, is friendship bracelets.
Yes.
You know, making and exchanging, and it's like a big, huge deal. And the Venn diagram of Taylor Swift fans and Transformers fans must have a lot of overlap, because I've seen friendship bracelets become more and more a thing at Transformers conventions. Like, for example, when I went to TFCon LA back in March, huge fan of my other podcast, Two Mikes Too Furious, Lord of the Torbs.
Yes.
Yes.
They made me a friendship bracelet. You know,
They made me one too.
Exactly. So it's like, and it was so cool. And I when Apollo put out this tweet saying like, well, hey man, if I did friendship bracelets for CybFest, who would be interested? And I'm like, yes, because like that Soundwave themed friendship bracelet that Laura the Torbs gave me, I wear that friendship bracelet every time I record Two Mikes Too Furious, and I showed like a screen cap of the video and stuff. So I dig it.
Love that. That's awesome.
I'm not as inundated in the culture as others, but friendship is pretty rad, and tokens of friendship is even more rad. So
I might say it's magic.
Oh, it's magic.
I have heard that from time to time.
You know, I don't think the friendship bracelet craze, I don't think it necessarily started with Swifties. I think it was popularized by Swifties. I might be totally off base, but I'm pretty sure it started with rave culture and like candy.
Oh, sure. Yeah, of
so,
course.
yeah.
Yeah, because they've got the like they
I
make
agree.
like giant like cuffs, and like they make crazy stuff out of it. It's wild.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the
Mhm.
Swifties definitely have got a hold on it at the moment.
Which is fine. Power
Yeah,
to them.
good for them. Yeah.
Yeah. I you know what? Not that I want to drag this off into like a whole Taylor Swift thing, but like, you know, being in the demographic that I am, I went through a kind of boomer adjacent phase of like, I don't get it. What's this? But like when they put the Eras tour up on Disney Plus, I'm like, well, let's see what all the Bub Hub is all about. I watched it and dug it quite a lot. I don't know if I would go back for it, but I enjoyed watching it. And as a fan of live music, I really appreciate the production value and the theatricality. And I do have a better appreciation for why that music resonates with folks. I mean, basically, she's cultivated, and some might even say weaponized, an entire fan base. And I respect her media acumen and just being like, so much messaging about, empowerment and being in your own power and all that. I like it. Plus, plenty of certified bops and bangers in there as well. So, I mean, I don't have anything bad to say about Taylor Swift or her music or the fans. I love the Swifties. I'm very, very pro Swiftie, I would say.
I want to point out you just made heart hands, and I also want to relate this to something Heximus has made
the heart
for us.
hands.
She made heart hand pins.
I'm so
you can
excited.
Put them together, and you can make
You can mix and
friendships
match them.
or pins.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
They're
Really? I didn't know
We'll have
that.
them at
we have-
CybFest.
Like Optimus hand and Megatron hand, and you can make them make like little heart hands together. It's adorable. I have a couple of them. They are amazing.
Famous friendship right there.
Yes.
I think it was on Twitter. I think it was from like a TFCon. You guys posted a picture, and I was like, "Can you come to CybFest and can you bring those?" And now you are. And
Yes,
I'm like, yeah.
we are.
You made that
We're
happen.
coming with tons of cool stuff. We're
take
coming
all
with
the
other
We made it a
things.
reality.
I'm very excited.
Well,
We're
I
coming
don't.
with toys, pins, all the cool stuff.
Yes.
Buttons. I personally am in charge of making the buttons, and I am very excited for these buttons.
Well, I think that's as good of a place to kind of start with the folks that have been listening for like or watching for like 12 minutes are like, who are these knuckleheads and what is going on?
I didn't know this was a Taylor Swift
What is
show.
happening?
But since we're on the topic of merch, I guess we'll just kind of like start in the middle and work sideways and then work our way back around for like, who we are and what we're doing. Since we're on the topic of merch, let's talk about the stuff that fans can experience when they go to the Swerve's Bar / Heximus tables at the at CybFest Northwest. Coming up
First
on
of
August
all,
3rd.
they're gonna experience a great time. All the jokes, all the smiles, all the high fives. We love high fives. Heart hands. We'll make heart hands across the table. So first of all, right off the bat, you're gonna get a great experience. And now
We'll
it's Onyx's turn to talk about
Yeah.
our merch.
We'll have Swerve's Bar podcast pins. We'll have free transform and rollout stickers you can have. And then we'll have other stickers for purchase. Obviously, we'll have Swerve. We'll have RC doing a sick burnout stickers, and we'll have some Spark Flower pins. We'll have what are the pins? We'll have Starscream pins. Starscream, Thundercracker, Skywarp stickers. We'll have probably some Transformers Prime Matrixes necklaces.
Those are cool.
We'll
I
have
love those.
probably some toys for sale too here and there. Just just to
I have
clean up
some
a little bit.
prior
fun
convention
Swerve Spark in
exclusives
the
I'll be
background.
bringing.
Yes, a fun Swerve Bar themed background.
Some
What else?
lights.
We'll have those heart hand pins. We'll have probably some Shannix. We'll have some actual metal
Ooh.
coin Shannixes for sale, which
Wow.
I think I'm fun.
Yeah, you can
else?
exchange them for more high fives.
Is that right? Is that
Crisp
how that works?
high five.
I don't think we agreed upon that.
There's also.
I'm gonna
Did
throw the
you
baton at
mention
Hex.
the Matrix rings by chance?
Oh, I didn't
Oh, the
mention the Matrix
rings.
rings. Yes, we made a Matrix ring. They are adjustable sizes. They come in two different, like large and small, just in case everyone's different. So you can pinch them and they'll fit onto your finger. We only have the blue one. I've been asked again about the purple ones.
Yeah,
I
what are the
don't-
purple
I think
ones?
It hasn't worked out yet. I'm trying different methods and they turn brown. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not going to give you brown matrices. That's weird.
I've told you try like a pinkish, like more magenta, and then it
Pinkish,
should
more
turn
magenta?
purple. Yeah,
All right, well,
Hmm.
we'll see. We'll see. And more.
poor
And
Onyx.
more.
And more.
I love it. I love it. So that's what's going on with Swerves. Oh, also I talked about this on last week's live stream, but like when me and Whirl were talking about the interlocking hands, it was like, oh yeah, no, those are fine and cool. What I want is the cliff jumper middle fingers. I need the
Yes.
Those sold out almost immediately when we first showed them, so I have to make more. So I haven't mentioned them because I haven't made them yet. But yes, I will bring some if they are so much people want them.
Yeah, I just thought it was kind of funny, the dichotomy where, like, Whirl was like, oh, heart hands. I'm like, no, middle fingers.
We can accommodate all your desires.
Well, I see that we have another challenger that's about to join us here on stage, but let's go ahead and welcome in Kilobyte. How
Hey,
Hey.
Hello. I have arrived. I am
Outstanding.
player 2 has joined the battle.
Yeah.
I think you're player 6 at this point.
Yeah, you're player 6 at this point, bud.
That is amazing. So
How you all doing?
Oh, we're doing great. Thank you for asking, and thank you for joining us.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. Had a little delay on the Icon Highway, but I'm here.
I understand. Yeah, it's all good since we are all here now. So Kilobyte, I'm gonna get to you in a sec for like intros and stuff, but I want to go back to the art table a bit. So we talked about the awesome knickknacks and tchotchkes and arts and cool things that folks can get there while they're at CybFest, again happening August 3rd at the Kent Commons Community Center. The website is cybfestnw.com for all of the informations, but it's not going to be just the Swerve's Bar folks at the table. I want to pass the talking stick back to Heximus, and you're gonna have like your own damn art table, like separate and adjacent to the Swerve's folks. So yeah. I thought we would spend a couple moments talking about your really cool arts and stuff.
Well, first off, I want to mention that I love that you said I have my own damn arts table. Because it is my own damn arts table.
Yeah.
So I will have a lot of prints. I have it was a really nice one of Rodimus and Windblade, who look absolutely lovely, as well as a very lovely Tarn and Knockout print that everyone seems to love, and it always sells out. I also have a bunch of charms. I have a new batch featuring a few of the ladies, because I feel like there's not a lot of ladies, not a lot of like cute lady merch.
Not enough girl power.
I get that the boys are real pretty, but I want some more girlies. And I will have a slew of stickers as well. Just like the heart hands, I will have a sticker version. They're just gray, so that otherwise there'd be a lot of stickers to print. But if you don't feel like having a pin, you can have it as a sticker instead. And I think the best for last is I'm sure that they've been around, is those silly Kerbo pins with the little knives in their hands. The little like silly cartoony versions. Those seem to be a fan favorite.
Absolutely. Well, and while we're talking about art, and so we're streaming live on a Thursday night. It's almost 7:30 Pacific time if you're watching on the live stream, and I preface that because this information might not be entirely valid by the time you catch up and listen on a podcast or watch on the video replay. But as of this time, Heximus, do you have any commission slots left, or did the entirety
I have 3 left. And to elaborate on that a little bit, I'm doing commissions to pick up the day of the con, because it is only a 1-day event. Yep. So they're just nice little sketches of either your OC or a favorite character from, it doesn't even have to be Transformers. I'll draw anything. But they're available if you go to my Twitter. There's more information there, but they will be available the day of the con. Maybe I'll even give you a free sticker as a little
Oh man,
reward.
Mhm.
I just
I didn't know it didn't have to be Transformers. Have you started on mine yet?
No, you can change it.
Can I change
You can
it?
change it. It's okay.
Oh, just judging by your icon, I think you can maybe draw tieflings, and I think that looks like something you'd be comfortable with. Am I
Oh
wrong?
yes. Oh yes, I can do that.
Excellent. Okay. We'll talk.
We'll talk.
I love it. Whereas, ironically enough, I almost had the opposite experience because I'm like, Heximus's art is like really cool, and I really dig the vibes and like all that. I'm like, but do they draw robots? Because I'd really draw my.
I do draw robots.
Very good
She
ones.
does do that very, very well.
Absolutely.
Very, very well. I have so many commissions from her, and I'm going to be
Highly
getting more.
recommend.
Yeah, your icon right now is one of mine.
It is actually,
Really
yeah.
good. That's awesome.
Mhm.
Thanks.
It's beautiful.
Thanks.
I would also say that most of the art that we have for Transform and Rollout comes from Heximus.
Mhm.
Like 90% of it.
I like making art.
And hey, if it's so good, then why not?
Absolutely. All right, friends. Well, now that we're 20 minutes deep and we've kind of like settled in a little bit, I want to invite folks to join us in the chat, whether you're watching on YouTube or on Facebook or on X. Post wherever you're watching, listening from, and we'll answer those questions as best as we can. In the chat, we've got a Galaxy Star Queen 77. Hello, all, with a heart. That's very sweet.
Hey, Galaxy.
Hi, Galaxy.
There
How
you
you
go. Hi,
doing?
Galaxy.
B Storm also says hello! Exclamation point.
Hello,
Hello.
P-Storm.
Hey,
Hello.
B Storm.
So yeah, so if you have questions for our panel, you could ask myself and Whirl CybFest related questions, or if you have Swerve's Bar related questions about their podcast and their homebrewed D&D, which we're going to talk about in just a little bit, feel free and drop those in the chat, and we'll answer those as best as we can. So I think in the spirit of that, let's do pretty much the same thing we did before and go around the horn with the talking stick. And I'll ask you to kind of tell me a little bit about yourself, and then from there we'll get into what Swerve's Bar is and what the D&D is, and talk about the panel and all of that other stuff. At risk of repeating myself, we're going to do this all over again. So let's start with Onyx, and you kind of introduced yourself a little bit, but as we like to say in journalism, tell me more.
I can tell you more. So, hi, I'm Onyx. I'm one of the three main co-hosts for Swerve's Bar podcast, where we go over comic reviews. We'll read the volume or first 6 issues, because a volume sometimes can be 12, and that can be a lot. So
So you
we'll
don't
go
have
through
to.
and talk about. Yeah, exactly. So you don't have to, but I still recommend you go and read them anyway, because we don't talk about everything in there, because that would be spoilery. But we do talk about fun facts, trivia, and some of the fun facts can be like, oh, there was miscoloring here, or like, hey, the artist was going to do this and they end up doing this differently, or something with the writer or editing, or something that's like an homage to a reference to something. We talk about that. There's jokes. There's lots of jokes on there. A lot of jokes. I think Soundwave has been hacking our frequencies. Someone's been reporting
That's
back
what
to
they've
me
been
that
telling
Soundwave
us.
interferes with the beginning of and end of our podcast. I don't know what that's about.
He
So
must
far, I
be
haven't
a
affected
devout
anything.
listener.
So
Yeah, so far everyone said they still hear the full podcast. It's just bonus of Soundwave, I guess, and his snarky comments.
We need to check Swerve's basement again. He might be down there again.
Last time I was down there, all I saw was the stereo. No Soundwave. I didn't see anything.
interesting.
Yeah, it was interesting. I was like, why? Who would have a boombox down here? I was confused, but whatever Swerve's up to. We also have on our Swerve's Bar podcast, we do special interviews with artists where we talk about the art. We like to promote them in every way, shape, and possible. We also talk to voice actresses. We've had voice actors and voice actresses. We've talked to Lindsay Rousseau, famously the voice of Alita 1. We've talked with David Kay, Megatron, for those who haven't seen anything with him as Megatron, which how
Please,
dare you?
please. He's my Optimus Prime. I
That's fair.
have
That
co-op
as well. That as well.
and that sweet axe.
Oh, it's so good. And we've had lots of other voice actors as well. We've also had crossover episodes where we will do a crossover Transformers comic with like Star Trek or with Back to the Future with another podcast. And it's like a crossover, which is really fun.
Crossover squared.
Crossover squared, because we like
Mixing it up.
craziness. Mixing it up. And then we have some other fun little one-offs here where we have a let's play here and there, usually when we have time, about Transformers games. We also have like a fun little improv, like guess the Transformers show or movie based on the review, which was kind of fun. We got to do that one again. What else? Kilobyte, Clickbait, help me out.
Oh, Primus. Yeah, we do that. We mostly have shenanigans, a lot of shenanigans afoot, and then we do the D&D on top of all this Swerve Spa recording stuff. We also do the D&D, which is a lot of fun. I'm a player. Both Kilobyte and Onyx take turns as the DMs of that campaign as we go through the different campaigns. I've really enjoyed being a player. I've played a couple different characters throughout, I think, we're on season 3 now? These 3 seasons. Season 3. And it has gotten more and more intense as we've gone on. So I started off playing Mantix, Decepticon Seeker Assassin turned ex-Decepticon, turned sort of hanging out with this Prime, turned savior, working towards saving the multiverse. It's been a fun journey for this poor guy. He's died, or at least the DM has attempted to kill him. What are we at, like 5-6 times now?
You're being dramatic. It was 10.
Anyway, moving on.
Oh my god.
Someone has a vendetta. He's actually died a couple times. He's actually died a couple of times and then come back. So
I don't think he's died. He's been knocked down. He hasn't failed.
No, he died at the TBD.
Yeah.
You're
never going to keep him down.
Okay,
No,
this
never
is
gonna
going to
keep
end
me
into an infinite loop of why not. So let's
Yeah, we have the D&D. Each season is its own continuity, its own thing, except for like season 3 was like special case because we're like, we want to do something different. So we took season 1 characters and season 2 characters and we threw them together in a pot, and we're at the end. We have 2-3
Then you can't
episodes
say
left.
everything's its own.
I mean, you could listen to them by themselves and still do it, because we do a little recap in the beginning of season 3, so you can jump around. And then at the end of season 3, we'll be releasing our homebrew book, unofficial, not related to Hasbro or Wizard of Coast, so I want to make sure that's clear. But you can start your own adventures and play as you like. Both Kilobyte and myself have been working on it. It's based on like a 5e with some Transformer twists, trying to make it as simplified as possible. It's not as complicated as normal D&D. Hex can probably talk more about how like simplistic it is. Simplistic? That's not the wrong word. That's the wrong word.
It's really nice.
Easy to pick up.
Approachable.
It has a really great list of, classes and kind of races and styles of the Transformers. So you get to nitpick, what is your body type, what is, how is that vehicle mode, based off now their profession, and then you can roll like your stat blocks. And it's very similar to the way the 5e is run. It's just tailored more for maybe like newer players who have a little bit of trouble maybe collecting all that information at once, because it is a lot to deal with all at once. So it has a lot of steps where you can use to tweak it to be exactly what you want. Tons of mix and matching options and subtypes and everything super great, with abilities mixed in that you can still use to elevate that class. Characters can create shields, and if they have a flight alt mode, now they have flight abilities and weapons that you can utilize. So there's still things to mix it up that keep it interesting as opposed to just being boring.
Yeah. I would also add on to that,
super
you
cool.
can have 2 players that are the same class and still be vastly different, because there are options when you level up. You can choose this ability or that ability, so you can play through the same class and have a totally different experience.
So it's made for those of us who have irritated our DMs by continuously rolling Warforged.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You're like, here, check this out instead. This stat block should convert quite nicely to 5e.
Love it.
The most important thing is you get to play it however you want, and if you want to modify our rules, you're welcome to it.
Absolutely. It's all about having fun.
Mike, are you into D&D?
No.
Well, you're about to be.
Apparently so. Mike, we
us.
got to bring you on for a one-shot at some point.
Really?
Do a crossover
It's a good time.
with you
It's
guys.
a good time.
Yeah,
Michael,
no,
I'll hook you up. I've got so many dice.
yeah, no, that sounds rad. I like that movie.
The movie was good.
It is a
That's
good movie.
I thought it was really fun. I like that they kind of take a Marvel MCU sensibility to it, where it's, you know, light on its feet, fun, jokey, quippy, and approachable and fun. Like I still pop off with like when the cloaking spell stops working and like you know, old Chris Pine's face just melts. He's like dar 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 dar.
Yeah.
We've had that happen a couple times. We've had that happen.
It's pretty hilarious. So yeah, and that's that was part of the reason why I asked World to come join us, because I'm like, I know that folks have questions about D&D, but I don't really know what questions to ask, because I remember that we had a back at TFCon LA during the Podcasters Roundtable, Onyx and Clickbait were able to join me as part of the panel, and it felt like
That was a blast.
it was terrific. It was a lot of fun. And incidentally, TFCon Toronto is this weekend for those of you that will participate. But that's always a good fun time. And the Podcaster Roundtable is like Sunday night. And I think it's at the end of the convention instead of the front of the convention. But my point being is, like, it felt like every fourth question was about the homebrew. and it was like, it's like, oh, well, what was your first memory of Transformers? And Daryl tells like heartfelt story about how like Grimlock is like his favorite character and all that. And it's like, next question. I want to go back to the homebrew D&D for a minute. So funny.
It was fun.
Yeah, ask all the questions you can. We can talk more about our characters and the plot of each campaign, or the latest campaign more. I've been mostly the DM this last campaign, since we had season 1 characters and season 2 characters.
Reign of
was
Terror.
the DM of season 2. So whenever we dealt with his characters in season 3, we would flip flop back and forth.
Not Clickbait.
Yeah.
I was like,
It's
I
a
have
long
done
day.
no
It's
such
been a long
thing.
day. What time is it? It's bedtime. That's what it is.
Oh my god.
I did a
So
one
we've been
shot,
flipping
and
back
that
and
was
forth.
it.
But we can talk more about our characters and the latest plots going on. I mean, it's been a blast. I think our number one episode still so far is the one shot with Frank Todaro, who played as Starscream, both as himself as Starscream or in character as Starscream. He was just in character the whole time, which was great.
It was fabulous. It was so I was so entertained the entire time.
It was hard
With
to have a
Starscream.
conversation because we didn't want to interrupt his monologue.
Yeah.
He kept monologuing. He just kept monologuing. But we couldn't interrupt him.
I mean, in character, right? It works.
Oh yeah, in character monologuing for 10 minutes,
character,
like
100%.
solid 10 minutes. It was great.
That's awesome.
Hexus,
We were
do you want
just
to talk
sitting
about
here
your
just
character and your experience with it?
Yeah. Before I get into my character, I do want to like reiterate that this, especially as someone who's never really done a lot of in-depth D&D before, that this is entirely so approachable and easy to get a grasp on without making you feel like a dummy. Like, it doesn't hold your hand, but it lays out everything in such a way that it just flows so nicely and still maintains a really nice amount of immersion. So it's super easy to be like, I want to play this kind of character. Cool. Pick these little things and you're ready to go. Because that's essentially kind of what I had done when I had first started. Is I already had a character in mind, and then it was sort of just like, all right, well, I'll just plug in what I know about them, and I can figure out the rest along the way. And that's how, or I guess at the time, Spitfire was born. So on the D&D podcast, I initially played as Spitfire, who eventually, I guess that's a little bit of a spoiler, became Scorchfire Prime. Oh my god, yeah. Yeah, again, spoilers, but do you want to figure out how? Go listen to the podcast. But she's been on a tumultuous journey of finding out how to be a prime, and I'm not sure she's really figured that out still, even though we're quite at the end. But she's sort of found her resolve with her family and dedicated to making sure that they're safe, and in turn defending not only her home, but the multiverse.
The fate of the multiverse is in her hands.
Oh, no, please, not just my hands. These hands are too small. But
and you mentioned multiverse. What's been your like favorite thing about season 3 with the multiverse going on?
Favorite? Oh, dude, I gotta pick one.
Is it the food bots or the bot bots? That's my guess.
They were really fun. It's just really, really neat to see like the Shattered Glass versions of our characters, or like I got to play a villainous version of Scorchfire, which was really, really cool to do sort of a 180 of how I normally play.
That sounds so much fun.
It was nerve-wracking to be like, I have to be mean to people. I don't want to be mean. But you get so into it that like maybe it's not so bad being mean to people.
Oh no.
I don't think that's something we want to.
But just I guess my favorite part is seeing all the different possibilities of what could be. Because in the multiverse, legitimately anything is possible. So anything could happen.
Mm-hmm.
The possibilities are endless.
They're endless.
I love it.
If I can
Do you
ask,
want to keep? Oh yeah, go ahead.
yeah, Onyx, as the DM, has there been anything that you planned and were very excited for that did not come to pass?
Oh yeah, loads of times. I am a over planner.
Trying to kill us.
Shush. I am an over planner, and at first when I have a new player onboarded, I like to talk with them a lot and figure out like what they want to do and how they want to do it, and I'll try.
So
to,
he can kill them.
I'll get you next time. Just you wait.
Oh,
We
no.
record tomorrow.
Oh no!
Anyway, I like to like try to figure things out, so then I can make a plan that kind of like I can kind of predict what you might do and have prepared ideas. Now, however, I might have plans A through F, and most of the times A, B, or C will happen, and I get really excited about A because I'm like, oh, this has a high chance of happening, and it doesn't happen, which is a bummer. But I also like what the players do more because they're having fun, and that's in the end is what matters the most.
Absolutely, I love that. Is there anything you'd like to spill the beans on that you would have liked to see happen that you missed out?
Ooh.
Oh goodness. We had a recent Q&A with the Transform and Rollout crew where they would ask me questions, and I think this is similar to a question I was asked, but that's okay. I will answer it again. So I open up every episode with them introducing their characters so that, the listeners are like, oh, yes, this voice belongs to this character. Or, yeah, we're working with this to make it as least confusing as possible when they're playing with two characters. Now, we also have voice mod and stuff like that, or change their voice when they're two different characters. There was a scene I really wanted to do where I was just going to dive straight into it. I was going to murder all of the characters. I was going to kill them slowly in front of everyone. Done. And then I was going to get ready to end the episode, have a door open, reintroduce their characters, and be like, oh yeah, that was an alternate version of yourself that got murdered earlier in the episode.
Just trauma. Just giving us
Just trauma.
Oh,
But
he loves
it's
doing
called
that.
character development, Yeah.
Why so dark?
Why so dark?
Yeah, why so
Because I
dark?
love comedy. And when I mean comedy, I mean like the old version of comedy. Comedy
So-
and tragedy.
The vibe that I've been picking up on this whole time is that the characters die a lot.
No, that's not true. Just
One of
like
them.
every 5 or 6 episodes, something traumatic happens. It's part of the story arc,
We don't
Okay.
die a lot, but he tries to kill us a lot.
Well, okay, so die or downed?
Down.
Die.
Okay, all right.
We've died a
But
couple
Clickbait
times.
sees it
We've
as death,
died a couple
but
Yeah.
Okay,
Clickbait
no,
is a little dramatic here.
Listen. Okay, first of all, yes, but second of all, we've been knocked unconscious plenty, but
Mhm.
we
Gotta
have
have some
also,
stakes.
you know what, Onyx, one of these days, I'm a DM, and you're gonna be in so much trouble.
You were a DM.
But-
You're still editing your one shot from last year.
Listen, I'm busy.
Stay
There's a
tuned for
lot
that.
happening on Cybertron right now, but secondarily, yes, we do both die and get downed a lot, but we usually pull through.
Yeah, I
because
will say.
our other players care about
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah, I will say this season's been a little more harsh starting from the mid-season forward because
Mhm.
everyone had 2 characters to begin with. They had characters from season 1 and characters from season 2. And as a DM, that's a nightmare to try to get them to talk to each other because that would be both confusing for not myself, but also for listeners. And I'm like, okay, I have to orchestrate this with you to make sure both your characters don't really interact too much. And if it is, it needs to be super, super straightforward. So my answer was murder. So everyone's got one character now because we got 3 episodes left.
Wow, way to thin the crowd.
Oh yeah.
Wow, Thanos was right. My goodness.
Yeah. Sometimes does Clickbait or Kilobyte want to talk about their characters and our experience?
Well, I'll introduce myself since I was the last one to join.
Woo! Oh, right.
I'm Kilobyte. I'm the third member of the co-host for the Swerve podcast, and I'm also a DM in the Transform and Rollout. I directed season 2, which was an introduction or my version of what a first group of the Wreckers team would look like the first time they get recruited idea. And so I named it like the first stand of the Wreckers because it was an homage to the comics of the last stand of the Wreckers kind of thing. So the characters got to make the Wreckers and they went on their little adventure. And at that time I was already talking with Onyx and be like, hey, for season 3, we're going to have them meet and we're going to do this and that. So we ended up in a cliffhanger. And so the players thought that their characters had perished in massive white light. So that was fun.
Wrecker fashion.
Yes. And then they got to meet in season 3. Other than that, I've been playing from season 1. I played a mercenary called Eight Wheeler, and he was trying to find out what happened to his team members before he joined the rest of the cast. And so he was on this journey. He only had one voice that he could identify, and so he needed to find who that bot was. So he goes on this journey and finds out a lot of dark things on how somebody was planning everything that he did in his life. So that was fun and traumatic. For season 2, I was the DM.
Aren't we all?
And then I played a mini-con because I love mini-cons. I played a mini-con called Grease. He has a big chin, a cigar, and he talks like this, say. And I really like giving him that accent. And so he's a scavenger, so he collects parts from the battlefield and he upgrades himself. And he wanted to lead the Decepticon. That was his goal, was to lead the whole army. So at one point he was going to overthrow Megatron. He didn't know how, but he was going to do it. And he goes on this special one-shot that we had with Lindsay Rousseau. And he goes with Starscream and Lindsay and fights a special Prime, I would say, not to give too much spoilers on that. And then eventually we see him back in season 3.
Mm-hmm.
Terrific. I love it. So while we're kind of here on the topic, because it seems like we're kind of going from D&D into overall podcasting stuff, I'd like to ask a larger top-down origin story type of question with these bots and demon here. Kind of what inspired y'all to get together? I mean, you have like an actual demon, a couple miscreant robots, and so where does the podcast come from? Where does Swerve's Bar come from? And how how do we get to where we are today, where you're all going to be packing into some kind of transport to come up to Kent, Washington to hang out at CybFest Northwest 2024, happening August 3rd at the Kent Commons Community Center in lovely Kent, Washington, about 20 miles south of Seattle. Head over to cybfestnw.com. Pre-registration is still open for another 9 days, I think. Registration closes on the 20th. And I think if you're interested in being a dealer, we may have a couple fingers on my hand left. I see less than 5, but more than okay.
Be there, be square.
We'll see you there.
Pickets are getting really, really slim. So if you would like to be either like an artist or if you would like to be an artist, But like if
you do it, don't let your dreams just be dreams.
There you go.
Just do it.
We'll consult with actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf. He's getting
exactly. Yes. Don't be in the woods alone with him.
Oh my God, we should get him as a guest.
He would just walk around with a sack on his head, saying like,
"That'd be great."
Anymore.
It should be paper mache of his head. So
that's going to be
we can talk about the
costume
origin
to blend in with the human population.
Absolutely.
So origin-wise, it all started with Swerve's Bar podcast. It was the first one that we started, and it all started with an idea, as all things do. I was trying to get Kilobyte into the Transformers comics. He was like, I'll read them someday. I was like, what if we made like a book club but a podcast for it. He was like, all right, I'm game. And at the time we had Computron with us, who was also reading the comics, and so we could have like 3 different perspectives. One is like, I've read, this would be my 4th time reading it through Computron's second and then Kilobyte's first, so we kind of have like the 3 different perspectives of it. And that's where that came from. Kilobyte, you want to talk a little bit more on your end, because it was you're heavily involved.
It started one day when I was trying to get into Earth culture, and I found out a little card game of the Transformers TCG. And yes. I opened them up at the bar, and Onyx appeared, and he's like, "Hey, I have some cards too." And he played a couple rounds with me. He had a Dinobot team and destroyed my team of Optimus and Nemesis Prime. So, but I was there to have a good time.
Destroyed.
Yeah, that was
probably closer.
But we got to talking, and it was like, oh yeah, I've liked Transformers all my life. Like I liked them with Armada, which was the first one I watched. And I saw the movies, and I was like, oh yeah. And then eventually kind of slowed down, and then I saw the cards, and I'm like, oh, this sounds interesting. And so we started playing, and then he was like, hey, the comics, have you read them? I'm like, no, I haven't not read them. And then eventually there was a friendship bond through the card game, and we started hanging out on the Discord and just chatting up. And so he's like, I have an idea. This is how you can read them. And I'm not forcing you, but air quotes, I am. So we read them, and we had a blast. And then we're like, hey, you know what is also fun? D&D. Why don't we do a Transformers D&D? And we started a campaign. It was me, Onyx, and Computron. And so it was Computron and myself were the players. I was 8-wheeler. Computron was Zephyr, and Onyx was the DM as well at that time. And so we started a couple episodes, and we're by the 4th episode, it just kind of, just the 2 of us didn't feel like there was a lot of growing with the characters. And so Onyx went online to a thing called twitch.tv that the Earthlings watch. And he found a demon streaming. And then randomly that day, the demon said that they like Transformers and they had an OC. And he's like, I got the next player. Let's into the team.
Hook, line, and sinker.
You're hired.
So you guys won't believe me.
And he reached out, and the demon said yes.
Yeah, and the tone shifted for the better, I would argue. As soon as they joined, I think episode 5 or 6, and it just became instant click, because you played a mercenary, Kilo, and then Computron played a Decepticon, and Heximus played an Autobot, which is, you're going to have some sort of comedic interactions there. And it's just such a good time. And I'm not trying to be biased or anything, but like I feel like it's pretty fun. Like I said, the first couple episodes I was learning how to edit, so it might be a little rough, but after like that, it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Can we rewind for just a minute? I'm sorry.
Yes.
So you're saying a mercenary Decepticon and an Autobot walked into a bar?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Many a time.
Basically,
Yeah.
And the Decepticon always started trouble.
Oh yeah,
Sorry,
Zephyr,
I had to.
Zephyr's the problem child.
Yeah, and then about halfway through their first season, then I got a message on my Twitter that Earth uses a lot, and I had previously met Onyx at one of the Earth conventions, but didn't realize it until later. Obviously, we were both in disguise, so it took us a while to figure it out.
Right.
And then I got this
hollow avatars, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was
Of
hollow
course.
avataring as Grimlock, and she was hollow avataring as Optimus.
As Optimus, yeah. And so that was fun. We did that. Was a lot of fun. And then a couple months after that, I had hosted an online panel at the online Transformers convention that had happened, because it was back when Earth
Icon
had
Online.
I think
Yeah,
Mike
Icon
knows
Online.
about that.
So I had hosted a panel on that, and then after that, I got a message from Onyx saying, "Hey, I see you like Transformers. That's super cool. Do you want to join in on this?" And I was like, "Okay, this is a little strange to get a message out of pocket, but okay, why not? This has already happened to me once before. I might as well just go for it." So joined in about, what was episode like 14 or 17 or something, and
Let's say yes.
I don't even know. Sure, something around there, about mid-season, with my Decepticon Seeker assassin that I had played. And yeah, the rest is history. It was so much fun. I had a blast. I wasn't sure how I was going to mesh with the group because they were already in the middle of a season,
Right.
but it turned out to be a great time. And then I got invited onto the main podcast, and then we did season 2 of D&D, and I played an Autobot scientist named Allegory, who had the ability to change her colors, hence the name Allegory. She was not all she seemed. And so now we're on season 3, and I've never
was
been
also a
happier to have
secret.
accepted. Yeah, it also,
Also a
listen,
secret.
listen.
And also secret,
I
you'll
can't
notice the
fly.
theme.
Listen, flying is cool. Okay, that's all I can say.
Yeah.
And I've never had have never had as much fun as I've had in these past couple of years with this gang.
Oh, that's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you so
it's
much.
been great.
Also, we have 2 more players, and I'll just pitch in real quick who
Yeah.
they play and what they are in season 3. They're new for season 3. We have Lapis. She plays in season 2 a dragon named Frostfang, and I don't know if you want to dive into that, Kilobyte.
Yeah, so she plays Frostfang, which is a bioorganic Beast Wars character. She's from the colony of Eucharis, because in season 2, the colonies are all connected to Cybertron, so there's not necessarily a time skip between Beast Wars and G1. And so she was trying to figure out what had happened to her and how she became. She got like this alt mode and organic part to it, because at that time she was I don't want to say normal, but she turned into a motorcycle, and then one day she woke up and she had been captured and transformed into this organic, and so she was on the search for that, and so eventually she joined the Wreckers because everybody didn't like the organic components, so they saw her as a beast, a monster, and so she found a family with the Wreckers, and I will not spoil it more than that.
Yeah, and then in season 3, they play a small little minicon insect dragonfly called Smolder, who's kind of been
My
the
boy.
gremlin of the group.
Mantix adopted him.
That's my son.
Mantix adopted him, constantly getting in trouble, drooling on things, asking if they could eat stuff. It's been a ride, I think, and is kind of
It
the team
has.
mascot for season 3. And then our other player, Celeste, also
Mhm.
does art, is on with us, and they play from another timeline, another group that also can jump between the multiverses and runs into this ragtag group of bots. And together they are attempting to stop the end of the multiverse with the release of Unicron.
Wow.
And their character is called Domina, and they're a prime from their timeline.
Very cool. That
That's awesome.
that sounds awesome and intense. I love it. I love
It is. It is.
I love
It's
hearing about
honestly more lighthearted than what we're describing. There's a lot of funny clips, there's a lot of
There's a
funny jokes.
lot of funny bits.
There is
Each
a lot of
episode
funny.
I go through and I pull out like at least a minute of something that was funny out of context, and I put it up on our YouTube. So if you're ever interested in just diving in or just want to see what the vibes are, that's a great indicator, because it's very similar to that 1 minute clip.
Generally, it's chaos. It's a lot of chaos.
Good
a lot of
chaos.
things don't. And anytime with D&D, a lot of times you'll try to do something you think is really cool, and you'll roll poorly, and then you got to figure out, okay, well, how do I make the best out of this situation? So there's a lot of figuring out how to make the best out of bad rolls or poor situations or a character not responding well to something you do, which usually results in a lot of our funny moments and some of my personal favorites.
Nice. I love it.
Mhm.
those
We've also-
first nat
Sorry.
ones can be character defining.
Oh, absolutely. One of my favorite times is when we were in season 2, and I was playing my character Allegory, and Onyx was playing his character. Or no, this was in season 3. Was it in season 3? The Scorchamus and Yes, this was in
That's
season 3.
The one with Lindsay
so we
Rousseau,
were
is that what
playing.
you're talking about?
Yes. You
Oh
know
my!
exactly what I'm playing
Yes,
with.
I was playing a shattered glass version of Hex's character, who is a male gender bent as well. Yes,
Okay.
Yes.
it makes sense
So
the
we
less you
have-
think about it.
Yeah, so we have a red, basically Scorchfire that goes by Scorchamus, and we're playing. This is with Lindsay Rousseau. So this is with Alita 1. If you've ever met Lindsay Rousseau, you know she is a super cool person, and she has like this very intense personality.
Yeah.
She's amazing. Love her to death. She plays
Super
D&D
sweet,
the
though.
same way. She's very intense. She's super sweet. She's always all in, having a blast. She plays it very intensely. So
Mhm.
we're playing, and the Scorchamus is trying to sneak around, and Allegory, he's invisible. And Allegory goes,
Or
well,
trying to.
come on. We're trying to sneak around. Allegory goes, come on, just come over here. And he goes, if I move, I won't be invisible. And Lindsay goes, well, that's useless, isn't it?
She's like, what a useless power.
What a
It
useless
was
power.
one of the funniest
So
moments, and
good.
we just died laughing. And so many of these fun moments come from something not going the way we want it to, and it's a
It's the
blast
best.
every time we play. It's the best.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Having Lindsay on worried me at first because she would like only respond when it was her turn. She would be dead quiet the rest of the time. I was like, oh no, is she actually having fun? And then like there was a quip that I said something that ended in a quote from a song or something, but I didn't mean to, and she started singing a song. And I thought that was like, okay, she's having fun.
Oh, we're good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we're
It's
good.
been
The vibes
so
are
much
good.
fun having some of the other voice actors on, and it's so fun to see how they embrace playing and how they play their characters when they have the freedom to do whatever they want with their
Mhm.
characters. So it's been so much fun.
Oftentimes, both Frank and Lindsay would ask me like, "Oh, what do you want me to do with my character? Like, what's my script? What are my lines?" I'm like, "They're your character. Do what you want.
It's
Yeah.
You can do what you want. Like, I'm not going to tell you how to play your character. It's like
It's improv,
just give me
baby.
a vague idea what you want to do, and
Yeah.
I'll
Mhm.
see if I can make it happen."
Yeah.
And I think once that barrier was like broken down, that they knew that they had more freedom, they got way more relaxed and had more of a blast. I think because
That's
there was always that
awesome.
first
Yeah.
time like,
Mhm.
where am I? What is this?
what am I?
How do I roll these dice?
Yeah.
I love the vibes of showing up to a D&D session and saying, what are my lines? Where's my script? I think that's beautiful.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was great. And
Yeah.
Frank still does it every once in a while. It's like, what do you want me to say? I'm like, I don't know. What do you think Starscream would say? Like, it's up to you.
Or he'll be like, is it okay if I do this? Like, yes, do. It's your character. Go.
Go crazy, go crazy. Be
My
be
favorite
the
thing.
Starscream you've always wanted to be.
Halfway through the one shot we did with him, we had it first lined up that like, because he's a Decepticon, he was going to have a conflict with the other players. Halfway through, he's like, I think Starscream wouldn't want to kill these guys. He would actually want to like betray Megatron and be friends with these group. Can I do that? And I'm like, yeah, I'm all for it. I like Starscream redemption arcs. I like the redemption arc from Armada. I like that we got to see him. There was another one. I don't know. My brain's all over the place today.
It wasn't really a redemption arc in Earthspark, but he was like in season 1 at least. He was
Yeah.
a little bit.
Mhm.
He was very sympathetic, more so than usual.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And a reconciliation with his
He was
stereotype, in a way.
good-naturedly allied.
Yes.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of a lawful evil situation. Right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'll give you the points for trying.
Rod Star.
That is definitely
Red Star.
an alignment, but I don't know if you're using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
Mike, I'm gonna drag you to D&D one day, I think.
That's fine. Maybe we'll do it at CybFest. I don't know. No, we'll be incredibly busy that day.
Got a few things to do.
But speaking of CybFest, I want to ask Kilobyte and Onyx. So the both of you came up last year for CybFest 2023 and put on what I thought was very well polished and really very cool presentation of the Swerve's Bar experience. You got a flavor of it here, but with it was full video and both of you talking very passionately about the podcast universe y'all have created. But I've noticed, as we've already talked about, not only are you returning, not only are you coming back to CybFest, but you're bringing friends with you. So,
Yeah.
So I guess my first question would be why?
Why?
Why not?
Wow. Why not?
Why
No,
not?
it's
What are you doing that
such a
for?
blast. They really wanted to come last year, but I think it just didn't work out. So we got audio recordings of their lines of like, hey, describe your character in under a minute, and then we'll play it at the thing. And it didn't. We did the presentation, it didn't feel as lively when we would hit play. We would just hit play and we'd have to sit there and watch the audience. Not that was a bad thing. You guys did great sitting there. But I think this will allow more bouncing back and forth between everyone. And then overall, we like hanging out. We like Mike. We like the
Yeah.
Transformers community. Also Seattle.
Right.
This will be my first trip to Seattle, so I'm very excited.
Me too.
Yay!
I like the event itself too, because the atmosphere, the interactions between everybody has always been fun. Both times that we've gone there,
Mhm.
the deals are great. So it's always a blast. So I'm always excited to go back.
That's awesome. That's so good to hear. Like that makes me like I'm like, oh, good.
Yeah. No, and I know last year it got a little bit bigger, and you had one of the Bumblebee cars there too showing off. So it was like, ooh, okay, cool, yes, let's go,
They'll be
let's get
back.
more.
Yeah, Bumblebee is returning to CybFest this year.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, I should. Too bad I'm flying, or I would bring my Bumblebee.
Do you have a Bumblebee?
I do. I have a Bumblebee.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome! I want a Bumblebee.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I've got
right.
my little
How
thing.
does
I
that
do
work
recommend
as a
it.
robot?
No, it's an Earth car that looks exactly like Bumblebee.
You bought? Is that
It's
like
remote.
if I bought
It's
a
remote.
pillow that looked exactly? Never mind. We won't dive into
Oh
this.
my god.
It's going off the rails. So, could you talk about a little bit about we talked about your artist tables, but like kind of maybe for either folks who missed last year's panel, and if you did, shame on you, but you get another chance this year at CybFest. But like for folks who missed that panel, or maybe like saw that panel and are interested to maybe come back, can you talk about maybe what you're going to be presenting and kind of let folks know, kind of like, this is but a taste of what the vibe of what of the Swerve Bar panel is going to be at CybFest Northwest. But yeah, if you want to tell folks a little more about what folks can expect.
Exactly. I think I know what you're hinting at. Last year, we revealed our animation, which was done by the lovely Heximus, of quips and out of context funny tidbits from the Transform and Roll Out podcast. This year, we have 5 more of them. And this time, they have never before been seen yet. They are done. They're ready to go. And they will release. Wow, words are hard today. They will release first time in the convention, and then they will be scheduled to release later down the line. So,
oh my gosh,
it'll be
Heximus,
the
you must
first
be
time
ready
seen.
to explode.
They have been done for a while, and I'm resting. My wrist is fine. I'm fine.
I think they turned out beautifully, but I'm biased, obviously. But
They
we'll also
did.
play last year's clip as well on top of it.
Well, she's so
But
good
I
at keeping
think-
a secret that I myself didn't know there were videos. So,
That's how secret it
they were a
was.
secret for me too.
Our secret.
Oh.
That's
It
amazing.
was a
That was super
super
cool.
secret.
So
Is that what you wanted?
yeah, absolutely.
Okay, perfect.
It worked out really well. It's like, we are subscribed to the Psychic Friends Network. We have ESPN and ESPN2. We communicated through the psychic waves, kind of like the interviewee thing. It's like, yes, I would like to hear about this. Oh,
I thought my Bluetooth was on.
yes. No, that's awesome. I really enjoyed y'all's panel last year, and I'm really excited for your group to be even larger and even more lively. And with the adjustments that we're making to the panel room this year, which we talked about last week, basically like the front entrance is going to be kind of halfway through the Green River room. So there's going to be, bleachers and partitions. And I think one of the unintended benefits of that is I think the panels will get a little more visibility than they would have in years past. And I'm really excited for y'all's presentation because I know you put a lot of effort and a lot of yourselves into it. So I'm really eager to see what this year's presentation looks like. It's going to be a lot of fun, I think.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Very
I'm
excited.
excited.
Very
Thank
excited.
you, yeah.
Well, and then obviously, thank you for coming to our convention. How about
Yeah.
Well, thank you for having it.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
We're very excited to have you guys. It is such a cool addition to the show.
Absolutely.
So
Thank you
excited
for
to be
having me
there.
so much.
We're so
We
excited.
appreciate it.
It's always been fun. So we're excited. I don't know if Soundwave will come up with us, but
We'll see.
He'll be hiding in the
We'll have to
basement
see.
still.
Yeah,
We'll see how much the space bridge allows us to carry.
Right. Soundwave is pretty elaborate, and I do understand that, and Sound Blaster is pretty elaborate as well. So we'll see. We'll see if there are stowaways on the Swerve's Bar escape shuttle as they make Seattle there. But speaking of coming up to Seattle, and this is kind of like inspired by a conversation we had on last week's live stream. One of the artists who also be tabling, Reno, had asked on Twitter, it's like, hey, what's cool to do in Seattle? So, we kind of had a discussion between us, the CybFest Northwest organizers, but I'm curious if you all would like to share maybe some of your plans and some of the stuff you're going to check out while you're here in town, because if somebody watching this might be like, oh, well, that's a thing I hadn't thought of. So yeah, I just kind of thought we would talk about, folks that are not from here coming here meaning the greater Seattle area.
Yeah, absolutely. We have like a small itinerary, like the big highlights. Like obviously the Space Needle's pretty cool. I like going up it at night because things are lit up. In the daytime, it's like, oh, it's just daytime. But nighttime, you can see pretty colors. There's the Glass Museum, which is cool, which is next to the Space Needle.
It is.
There's the Normal Museum, which at the time will have an exhibit on the stop motion production.
Oh, the Leica one.
Leica one, yes. They will be there, that museum at the time that we will be up there, which is going to be exciting. Pike's Place is pretty cool. It's a nice little market area. There's food, there's exhibits, there's stores, there's a nerd store down below, which I like to hang out in. There's a mall nearby. All of this is within walking distance or so you don't really need to go very far from these ones.
Right.
Other than that, I know there's a lot, but that's what we have on our list for the weekend.
Onyx and Kilo have visited more locally to that part of the Earth than I have, so I left most of the planning on my end up to them. I just told them I wanted to visit the Space Needle was my only itinerary request.
I have not been to the needle, but I was told that humans use needles to thread. How do you thread something with that huge needle?
So this needle was inspired by the small needles. We made a really big needle because we thought small needles were really cool.
Oh,
that's why it's so pointy.
Exactly.
So it
do you worship this needle?
So it seems.
Kind of. Some Seattleites are very reverent.
Careful.
What's the proper procedure when going to the needle? I don't want to offend
Kilo.
it.
Oh, don't bring any weapons. They get really mad when you do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
No need.
But we have weapons. What are we supposed to do with them?
Well, they will confiscate them and you won't get them back. I lost a good can of pepper spray that way.
But I like
I like my arms too.
Good luck.
These no rays are part of my body.
I need to be pedantic too. I need to let you know it's important when you are visiting this part of Earth. It is Pike Place, singular. They get mad if you say Pike's Place.
It's true.
Oh,
yeah.
Good to know. Good to know.
Just giving you the heads up.
But
Mopop is very good. Mopop is very cool, and you will greatly enjoy it. There's plenty of room. They have this big theater. You'll be perfectly able to stand up in. I know that's probably an issue a lot of the time. But giant theater playing.
Oh, not so much.
Exactly. They've got a good sci-fi exhibit as well if you'd like to see some neighboring robots from other cultures. Let's see. Mopop's my favorite. I get very excited about that. If you're into marine life at all, I don't know if there's any boat alt modes in here in the chat. But there's a fantastic aquarium. I think they're actually doing an Animal Crossing exhibit right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I got that 2 months ago.
Yeah. And I will let you guys know, we talked about this last week as well. A lot of the things you guys listed are included on the Seattle City Pass, which will make it significantly cheaper. I imagine dollars are not super easy to come by.
The currency exchange is a lot.
I have some.
And Swerve does not pay very good.
I will personally be paying Heximus's Mopop admission with my
Same.
but the City Pass will help you save many dollars when you go do all those things. So you pay for 2 of the things and then you get to do 5 of them. So
Sweet.
Well, that's
Good deal.
Thank you for that advice.
Yeah.
happy to help.
I'll drop a link in the chat as well. This portion of Seibert Radio brought to you by City Pass.
All right.
Use,
Please put us on the tourist website, Seattle.
Yeah, there you go. We're working on it. But no, I can't recommend City Pass more. It's very cool. Like we've done it when we've gone to other cities that we've been tourists at. And so, yeah, it gets you an opportunity to hit all the tourist stuff, but then maybe stuff you might not have thought of. And I don't know about you all, but I'm kind of like a bang for my buck type of person. So if it's like, I buy like World just said, it's like, buying for the 2 of the things I was going to do anyway, and it gives me 3 more things to do. Well, that's 3 other things I might not have done. So
They have dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs.
The Pacific Science Center is fantastic. I love the Pacific Science Center.
Science Center rocks.
Yes, they have a good
Nice.
butterfly garden.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I had a butterfly land on my face once. It was like
Aw.
the weirdest experience I ever had. My wife has a picture of me where like he's like basically just kind of like on like the side of my cheek and just kind of chilling there, just kind of flapping his wings, and it's like, don't move. And I'm like, okay. It's great. The laser dome is pretty cool.
Yes.
Check out a laser show if you haven't. And for movie buffs out there, the IMAX at the Pacific Science Center is the largest movie screen in Washington State, and it is what I like to call, because I'm a movie snob, a true IMAX. It's not the one at the AMC that says IMAX, but it really kind of this thing is massive. It's like 80 stories high by like 60 stories across. It's incredible. I mean, like there is plenty of stuff to do.
And I think
Is
we've
it
actually
bigger than the one in Portland, or smaller, or same?
I haven't been to the one in Portland. I would imagine it's the same because it's the same thing. It's attached to the
Science Center.
Science Center. Yeah. I couldn't remember what it was called, but yeah, it's very much in that same mold. It's basically the same type of thing.
Nice. I will say, I think we've come full circle as well, because I believe that Laserdome is currently doing a Taylor Swift Eras show.
Oh,
Wow.
my God, it's happening.
It always comes back to Taylor Swift.
Friendship, bracelets. Very cool. Well, it looks like we still got a little bit of time before we do our before Whirl and I have to adjourn to go to our CybFest meeting. So I have some kind of like rapid fire fun questions that we can kind of talk about from like a Transformers fandom perspective. But before we transition into that, can we go around, and if you all have like social media handles and basically kind of like, let's do the plugs for Swerve's Bar and Friends now while we're still thinking about it before we run out of time, and then we could do some casual chat at the end. How's that sound?
Yeah, that works for us.
Sounds very good.
Cool.
Absolutely.
So Kilo, you've been kind of the most quiet. I feel like since you kind of joined us late, you kind of got and you know what, I can relate and empathize with your plight, because if I had to do shows with Onyx and Clickbait and Hex, I would do
Yeah, I don't like to, if they're talking, I don't want to interrupt. So
exactly.
I don't have that problem.
Exactly.
Wow.
So Kilo, why don't you start us off and let us know if there's any place that we can connect with you, and let us know about anything else you got going on, and any thoughts on life, anything you'd like to promote, and if there's anything that we haven't talked about that you'd like to mention while we're all here together and we've got the time.
yeah, so I do have a Twitter, or what humans call now X. It's at Kilobyte Prime, and I have an Instagram as well, where I kind of mostly share a lot of our posts from the main Swerve Bar channel, and I've been trying to get into what humans call toy photography. So I will slowly be posting those once I get a chance. For our podcast, we have at Swerve Bar on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube. So you'll be able to find us all on your favorite podcasting apps, so Spotify, Pocket Cast, all of those. And I also have a Twitch streaming channel, also at kilobyteprime.tv. I haven't been as active. I have a little sparkling I've been helping take care of, so it's been a little bit of a back burner for now, but I will get back to it, and we'll be playing some Transformers games and some of the new recent games that are out there.
Mhm.
Anything else that I missed, Onyx?
We could drop a link tree that could be helpful, but we also have a Patreon that releases all of our content a week early.
Mhm.
We have a Tumblr, Redbubble. We're on
You can get cool
Threads.
stuff.
We're on Instagram. I think you said Twitter. We have a personal website that has all of our stuff on it as well. We're all over the place. Yeah, I think that's it. There might be
And then you
something
can
else.
listen to the
Clickbait.
podcast on Spotify, YouTube, and pretty much anywhere you can listen to podcasts. I think our podcast is available. As for me, myself and I, most of my social media is managed by my human counterpart. So you will find my handles on Instagram, Twitter at a rogue Trish. It will be where you can find me, and she'll get that to me.
Perfect.
And then, hopefully last but not least, you can find me on pretty much any social media site at Heximus_, HEXAMIS. And then I currently, other than the in-person traditional commissions that I have for CybFest, I do have regular digital commissions over on vgen.co. I think it's vgen.co/Heximus. I think that's the link.
That is correct.
But most frequently on Twitter, so don't hesitate to say hi. I'll try and talk if I can. I'm a little shy. If I'm not doing something like this, I tend to be a little shy.
She also streams from time to time.
She
on
does.
Twitch.
You can watch her do cool art
Recently,
stuff.
but I'm gonna try to pick it back up too. It's also kind of been on the back burner.
Yeah. Also Heximus_. I think it's on the Twitch. A little bit different.
Yeah, I think it's all Heximus_. I mean, I hope it is. I hope I'm not confusing it with someone else.
If you see a blue demon, you're in the right place.
Gotcha.
Mhm,
Very
mhm.
cool. I love it. Whirl, not to put you too much on the spot here, but we because I know that your capacity to be concise is greater than mine. Would you mind for folks that might be just joining us here in the live stream? Could you let folks know some of the cool things that we're excited about for this year's CybFest, and maybe how to connect with us and then connect with you?
100%. This is not a good time to ask me to be concise, because I'm very excited about a lot of the things happening at CybFest.
Oh, what have I done?
We do have our massive dealer room is back. We've got the whole gym again. We have close to 50 dealers right now, and hopefully a few more on the way. Which I know, Mike, that face you made, that's a ridiculous number, right?
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's great.
I've mentioned as well, I'm very excited. We have a good variety of artists this year, because while toys are kind of the heart and soul of Transformers, I'm very much an art person myself, but I'm not an artist, so I have to go and buy it from other artists who do know how to do art. So I'm very excited. We've got people bringing in bags. We've got Atomic Mariachi is bringing back their Transformers CybFest hot sauce, which is baffling to me.
Hot sauce, you say?
Hot
Baffling
sauce.
in a good way.
Yeah, the official, unofficial CybFest hot sauce. I mixed up all those words, but you guys get the point. We've got the raffles are coming back. We've got some really cool stuff coming for that. I've actually got.
I
some
love
candy.
raffles. That's such a cool thing.
We've got some contests coming up. We are bringing back the regular trivia contest and the transforming contest. I'm introducing a coloring contest this year for kids and adults.
Ooh.
I commissioned
Miss madly scrambling to color. Just at her table, just scribbling.
Yes,
violently.
exactly. We commissioned some bespoke art for the coloring contest, some line art of some characters, and we're going to just kind of spread it everywhere. We actually talked about the organizers are going to do our own mini coloring contest at badge stuffing night, and then hang those on the wall to just to get things started, because no one ever wants to be the first one to hang something up,
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, we're really doing that.
Yeah, we're doing that.
I thought we were being facetious. Oh no.
I was being
Yeah, you need help with
100%
that?
serious. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. You guys have to do it at the show so you can enter the contest.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay, fair
Yeah,
enough.
It's
But will
but
we
no.
have time? We'll work in the booth, maybe.
yes.
Mike, you've been drafted. You have no say in the matter. You do have to enter the
Wonderful.
One of the things I get super excited about is we are bringing back the First Robotic Orcas. First Robotics is a super cool organization where high schoolers build robots and compete. It's a great way to inspire youth to get interested in building robots. A lot of the youth that come to CybFest are already super excited about robots, so we might as well get them building their own, right?
Yeah, they were fun
Yeah.
last year. It was amazing to see their
I'm-
robots in action.
Super excited. They are bringing 2 robots this year named Insurance and Timequake.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Bumblebee's returning. We're going to have Bumblebee back, and his friend Scotty Handline will be returning to the loading dock of CybFest. We're going to have several panels, one of which including yours truly, that are currently on the podcast. Ooh, ah. Sue Blue, not to save the big thing for last, but our special guest Sue Blue we're super excited about. I personally am very jazzed. I have my background blurred right now because there's too many animals, but I have a big RC collection over in the corner, so I am thrilled. And along with that, we do have our Carbot Darcy exclusive figure.
Oh, that looks so good.
Is a figure that I have wanted for a very long time, so I am very excited to see it come to life, and I cannot wait to put it on the shelf.
Yep.
And maybe even get it signed by Sue Blue. I think that would be super cool.
That would be amazing.
Nice. I'm also looking forward to getting an RC signed by Sue Blue.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the background screaming at me.
I have too many animals back here.
Dang Cybercat.
Mike, what am I forgetting?
You talked about the robotics teams. We talked about Sue. We have t-shirts available through our TeePublic store. I'll drop a link here in the chat.
And C-Lug will be coming and doing a Lego setup, which I'm super excited about as well. I think that'll be really cool.
Ooh.
They're going to have a big Lego city, and they're going to have a bunch of Transformers in it. So that's super cool.
There's going to be some cool customs on display as well.
Yes.
One of our dealers, Jeremy, has dual citizenship with the Lego folks, as well as being into Transformers. He has Lego Transformers that actually transform.
Lego
And-
Ooh.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
That's my favorite part of the Transformer figures that transform.
I have
Yeah.
It's like a puzzle.
Exactly. But yeah, no. We have exclusive prints from one of our favorite artists, Ben Hansen. He actually, in fact, since we were off the air last week, Ben has. Oh, what you got there?
Oh, they're adorable.
My mini Lego Formers Windblade. I'm scared to transform her, but she does transform into airplane.
that's fantastic.
That's
awesome.
awesome.
So
I need one.
I've got the RC as well, but she got disassembled when I moved, and I don't know how to put her back together. So I'm bringing her to Jeremy this year to ask him if he can help me.
Oh,
There you go.
Ratchet, where are you?
Yeah, exactly. So, Whirl, you had asked me a bit ago the thing I had that you felt like you were forgetting something. The print from Ben Hansen, our exclusive there. And the thing I was starting to ramble about is that, like, so we debuted his exclusive print for CybFest Northwest 2024. It's like this really cool Seattle cityscape with RC stuck in traffic with a few cameos from other cars and characters. But after we finished the live stream last week, Ben Hansen on his channels put up his own RC print that he's going to have at his artist table as well, and it is pretty cool. Oh, there we go. Oh, that works.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if we're going to
Ooh, that's awesome.
And I can pull up the RC one as well if you'd like.
be. Ooh, let's do
that
that.
was very pretty.
Okay, cool. Give me just a minute.
Yeah, no worries.
But no, I am very excited about this print because this is one of my favorite views of Seattle. If you Swerve's Bar team, if you go up north of Seattle and then come back, you'll get to see this view. It is one of my favorites. It's a very pretty view of the water and the city skyline and the Space Needle. In this specific shot, you can see a few friends that are hidden here and there.
Just a few.
Yeah, it's a very cool print, and I'm very excited to own one.
I really like it.
Let
That's
me throw up
awesome.
this other
That's
one as
beautiful.
well, and I will stop and then present again with this guy.
Oh yeah.
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 Oh, I like
Yeah.
that one too.
Ooh, that looks sick. I like it.
So good.
That is sick.
Ooh, I do like that.
Yeah.
He posted another one too that I am also super excited about. Mike, I don't know if you've seen that one yet.
I don't think I have. So this
The reveal.
so this is going to be a reveal for me.
Drum rolls, please.
So, Mike, you've seen my kind of office aesthetic, right?
I have.
Where I've got kind of the whole arcade thing going.
Uh-huh.
This print is going to look great in there.
Oh my.
Whoa, that looks.
Oh,
I
that's-
am-
That's cool.
I am thrilled about
That one,
this.
that one reminds me. We used to get the old human commercials of that, like black, and you use like a
black
penny, and it makes
Oh,
you
yeah.
scrape
Oh,
the
the-
colors underneath. I can't
Oh,
remember what
yeah.
it's called,
Yeah.
but this
That's
reminds.
The
I got
scratch art
nostalgia
or
from this.
whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fantastic.
It's
It is
lovely.
It looks
Super-
awesome.
He does such cool art. I am super excited to buy some of these.
I'm gonna have to get
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
I
And
mean,
then-
I already have a really cool Soundwave print from Ben Hansen. Actually, very brief story, but basically, like, there was a KO of the Fans Toys acoustic wave, their masterpiece Soundwave, and basically for this knockoff, they cribbed Ben Hansen's art, uncredited, of course, because it's a knockoff. So, but then what Ben Hansen did was made prints of the knockoff art, and so, and it's so funny. So it's like I have that print. I keep wanting to buy that toy just to be able to have him autograph it because it's his art on there. I haven't done it yet, but anyway, I have a couple Soundwave pieces from Ben Hansen, and this will go very nicely with that group. I think I'm really excited for this print. This is so cool.
Yeah. I was okay. I did not know you hadn't seen that yet, so
I
I'm
have
very excited
not.
to get to be the one to show it to you.
So cool. I love it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now I just want to stare at that all day. That
Right?
Cool.
And then I brought this as well. I brought show and tell. I got my tote bag. Oh no, hold on, let me turn off the
Oh,
board.
it's even
You have
pink.
to
I like it.
crack
Not biased at all towards pink. But anyway,
There we go.
why do you think that? Why'd you
So I
bring it
got-
up?
I got my tote bag.
Oh, that's
It's
Oh,
really
I love the
nice
design.
quality. This is you
Ooh.
can get this on our TeePublic. I'm shilling 100%. But
No,
we
do
do
it.
my t-shirt's in the washing machine because I keep wearing it to things.
right.
But,
Nice.
but I just got the
Advertising.
tote bag in the mail, and I told the organizers every single year I buy a bunch of art and I buy some toys and I pile them behind the organizer table, like just as a big mess. So this year I have a tote bag, and I can put
Nice.
things in it.
Woo!
The other
Nice.
thing I bought a bunch of are CybFest stickers. I didn't even pick up the whole stack, but I got a bunch of them. So
Ooh.
we've got.
Ooh.
Oh, that is so cool.
So
Those-
same-
Oh, nice.
That's
Cool.
super
Yeah.
cool.
So
Those
I
Decals or
can't wait.
stickers?
They are. I think they're just stickers. I don't think they're waterproof.
Okay.
Which I assume is what you're referring to, like the vinyl kind of thing. But no,
Yeah.
I think these are just regular ones. But I think you can get the fancier stickers on TeePublic. TeePublic has a lot of options when you upload a design. I did make the default T-shirt, and then I put it on pretty much everything else. So you could, in theory, get like a CybFest mug if you wanted to.
Nice.
But I needed a tote bag for CybFest, and so I figured I'd get a CybFest tote bag.
Nice.
That's amazing.
Cool.
Very, very cool. And again, all of that and more can be found at the website cybfestnw.com. And again, I just want to remind folks who may be just joining us as we're getting ready to wrap up our conversation with the folks from Swerve's Bar podcast that CybFest Northwest 2024 is happening August 3rd at the Kent Commons Community Center in downtown Kent, across from the Showware Center where the hockey team plays. It's about 20 miles south of Seattle. Very easy and convenient to get to. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I think y'all should come. So that's all I have to say about that. So as
meet the folks of Swerve's Bar.
yeah, absolutely.
Woohoo!
Yeah, come
Woo!
say hi.
We're very excited.
Come
High
on,
fives all around.
come watch their panel. Come hang out with them at their artist table. If you're quick, you might be able to get a commission from Heximus before her slots all fill up there, which I'm sure they will.
I highly recommend it.
I'm really excited to get my art commission there. But as we kind of wrap up here, I would like to do some rapid fire, just some goofy fandom fun questions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around and I will ask you to pick a number. And then that number will correspond to my fandom ask list thing here. Once I mean, it's open chat. We're welcome to all talk about it. So like, don't feel limited by just like, since I ask each person individually, that's just to get the conversation started. But yeah, I mean, don't feel like if you don't have an answer, then that's fine as well. We'll
Mike,
see.
are you using that Tumblr post that you've used before?
Yep.
Okay.
It's it's the same one.
It's a classic.
It's
a staple.
I mean, and there are some. It's funny how there are some delightfully evergreen questions and some incredibly dated questions on there. Okay? So without any further ado, let's go back around and we'll start with a Kilobyte. Start with Kilo. Do me a favor and pick a number between 1 and 30.
I'll do 27.
27. Do you read any Transformers comics? And what do you think about them?
That's a very tough question. I would have to say yes. I've read quite a few, 2 continuities, and they've been amazing. There's been a few that I've really, really liked, and a few that I've like, I don't know about that one. But they've always been great, and I love the artists that have worked on all these issues, and they do an amazing job.
Nice. I love it. Anybody else want to weigh in on comics before we move on?
I've been reading more and more comics the longer I've been on Swerve's Bar podcast, as is the nature of the podcast. But prior to that, I had not read a ton, although I have read a very decent chunk of the novels, which in particular, my favorite being the Transformers Exodus and Exiles, which if you've had me on here before, you know I will talk about all day and night. So I'm going to leave that there.
I can attest to this.
Unsolicited clickbait's like, let me tell you about the novels. And I'm like, I think I even said this at TFCon LA during our podcast. And I'm like, again with the novels.
Again with the novels. Every time you let me talk, I will plug them. Absolutely.
We have a subsection in all of our comic podcasts called Clickbait's Quick Quotes, but they're never quick.
I just get to talk about my favorite lines, and it usually segues into a discussion about the entire scene. You know what? It is what it is. It's my little turn, and I love it.
Very cool.
If you don't mind me interjecting really
Please,
quick,
please.
I've been convinced to read the comics as well by Onyx, who was pestering me nonstop to read them. Like, hey, have you read more? Have you read more? And I'm finally at the More Than Meets the Eyes series, and I am enjoying it so much. It like immediately made me want to read more because they're really, really well written, but also really, really pretty. I love the art in them. It's a lot easier to read when the art is really good. So I recommend reading those.
Well, I mean, I don't know how far you are, but like, spoilers without spoilers, that book will tear your heart out.
So far, there's been a few moments like that.
So with that, let's stay with Hex here. Would you do me a favor and pick a number between 1 and 30, and hopefully it's not 27.
Oh, I was gonna pick that one. No, I'll pick 14.
All right,
ooh, good number.
Question 14. Let me find this here. If you could meet any character from any show, who would it be?
Oh gosh! Stop! Stop! They're making fun of me by laughing.
We know the answer. That's what it is.
Does it have to be Transformers related, or
Then it would be a lie.
Yeah, I will ask it as written.
Oh, never mind.
Any show. I think it's implied Transformers, but since it's not written that way, you can answer however you like. It's your question.
I was gonna say, like, we could keep it Transformers theme. Otherwise, I'll just I don't think I'd be able to pick. I mean, just picking from Transformers is enough. I think that's actually really tough. I mean, the obvious choice that I know that the other ding dongs are thinking I'm going to choose is Knockout. Because he's really handsome. There's a couple other choices, but he's probably the top.
He's pretty.
He's pretty.
I like it.
Coral's hair.
Very much. Awesome. Very cool. Well, let's in the interest of keeping moving, I'm going to keep moving. Let's move to clickbait, and please pick a number between 1 and 30.
7.
Question 7. Who is your favorite Decepticon?
Ooh, that's a good question. There's so many options. Like, it depends on like the category. Probably because technically he's not a Decepticon.
Was it Knockout again?
It was not. It was not Knockout. It was not Knockout.
It was his own. It was her own OC.
No, I know that doesn't count. He's also technically not a Decepticon anymore. I guess I'm gonna have to keep it classic and go with Starscream. He's just so much fun.
There you go.
But yeah, no, the one I was considering answering is one of my all-time favorites, Transformers Prime Predaking, but he's not technically a Decepticon.
Sure.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I like it.
Can I jump in on this one? Because now I'm thinking about Transformers Prime. My favorite Decepticon is the Viacon that Megatron threw off of the Nemesis.
Yes! Yes!
Like, he knew he turned into a car, but he
He did
tried
it
anyways.
He did. He's like, my last-ditch effort. Also, don't let me get started talking about Transformers Prime because we'll be here all night.
We can talk. I'll skip the organizer meeting. We'll just talk about Transformers.
Goodness. Amazing. All right. Onyx, how about you? Pick a number between 1 and 30, please.
Can I get 3.14159265?
Onyx! We've talked about this.
Negative goes
second round.
Whole numbers only.
Whole numbers only. All right. Let's go with 13.
Okay. Question 13. How many Transformers figures do you have?
Ooh.
Oh, that's is anyone else in the earshot in this house?
Maybe turn the fan up a little louder, just to
A little louder.
Yeah.
Probably like 300.
Wow.
Those are rookie numbers.
That's impressive.
I would say it's that high because like a lot of them are mini cons,
Oh, sure.
or
Yeah.
like they're really tiny, so they don't take up a lot of space. But yeah, a lot.
Same. Hard same. I feel you. All right. Well, so Whirl, since we still got time, we might be able to do one more round. We'll see how it goes. Kindly pick a number between 1 and 30, please.
4 has not been picked yet, has it?
Correct. It has not.
I'll take 4.
What was your first Transformers figure?
Ooh. That I can remember was a McDonald's Transformers Prime bulkhead.
Oh, nice.
Does that count?
Nice.
That very much counts. Yeah, of course.
Okay, because I was raised on Transformers by my dad. Like the G1 movie was my first swear word. And then I fell out of it for a little while, and then when I was like a young teenager, like a preteen,
Mhm.
I got super into Transformers Prime, and then it was all downhill from there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The cycle continues.
The
Yeah.
brain rot runs deep.
Yeah, there's a picture somewhere of me like just braces all across the teeth, big old grin, holding this goofy little bulkhead figure.
Gosh.
I
Because
love that.
he had a gimmick where he would fire like a missile from his arm, right? There was like a little trigger you'd pull, and I used that as a cat toy for a good long while.
Nice.
That's
What
amazing.
Bulkhead would have wanted.
That's so cool. I love that. That is so cool. All right, well, let's see if we can go one more round. We go back to Kilo. Pick another number between 1 and 30, please.
25.
Okay, question 25. Who is better, Blaster or Soundwave?
Sound Blaster.
Oh, that is
Wow.
Nice.
I love it. Unrelated, I had a Sound Blaster phase for like 45 minutes back in like 2020. Whenever like I think I don't remember if it's in Siege or in Earthrise, but like during the Netflix series, like Sound Blaster is a character and he's such a cool, violently different unique character than we've seen before. He's like this like, arms dealer, smuggler, gangster guy. And I really like the vocal performance, and I just loved that he was something that wasn't just Soundwave painted black. So I ended up picking up like a couple figures and commissions and stuff, and I thought that in an effort to kind of try to be less basic, I'm like, let me find a character that's not just Soundwave, because Soundwave is, anybody who knows me, that's my dude. So it's Soundwave adjacent, but anyway, but I kind of got bored with that really quick, because there's not a whole lot of Sound Blaster there. So it's like,
I love him so much. I still need a toy for him, so I'm still on the lookout.
Awesome. But again, I love that answer to the Blaster V Soundwave.
Thank you.
Cool. All right. Well, 10 minutes left on the clock. Let's keep it going. Hex, pick another number between 1 and 30, please.
9.
Okay. Question number 9. Oh, wow. I mean, y'all can't see my questions, but I can see them. We may as well just sign off now, because this is going to be a whole nother show. 9. Rumble is red, Frenzy is blue, or Rumble is blue, Frenzy is red? ?
Pass. I think that's the correct answer, right?
It's a real
Shouldn't
war
there be
game situation. The
another
only
option
option in
there
the
now?
game is to not play.
Yeah.
That's another option, right? Because Rumble's purple in Earthspark.
It's Frenzy.
Yeah,
Frenzy
the
that's-
answer is
Frenzy?
they're
Oh,
both
it's
purple.
Rumble
Frenzy.
died.
It's Frenzy.
Both purple.
Everyone purple.
They're both purple. Done.
That was my
Bye-bye.
thing. It's like, I don't care. Frenzy is a purple girl. So that's
Yeah.
that is my
Yeah.
answer. I
That's the right
love Earthspark Frenzy. She's
Yes.
I mean,
We-
like,
Great.
Yeah.
She's great.
We had her as a voice actress guest on Swerve's Bar. Fantastic.
That's awesome. I love that.
so cool.
Soundwave's garbage daughter shows up and just ruins everything.
And she's into grunge. I love it.
Yeah, just a grungy punk. I love it. Because, has like that kind of like strand of Rumble DNA, kind of like the G1 Frank Welker kind of like Brooklyn street punk. It's like, so she definitely has that same trait and connective tissue there. So, all right. So we continue. Clickbait. Go ahead and please pick another number, please.
29.
29. Crossover you would like to see.
Ooh, that's so cool. I'm a big fan. I know that they did this kind of in the past in Transformers in the early days, as we had Transformers and Marvel kind of crossed over because they were, similar production studios. Yep. But I would love to see a Transformers and strictly like the Avengers timeline crossover.
Ooh.
I went on a deep dive one night, and I thought I found a couple of connections that are totally incidental, but I was like, this is the same universe in alternate timelines. Yep. That's a whole story that would take us a while to get through, but I believe it's General Glenn Morshower in Transformers appears briefly in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with the same rank, title, and ribbons on his uniform.
Yeah.
And so I was like, this is it. The Transformers and Avengers are the same. So I would love to see that.
She was telling me this, and she's like, they both have a cube, and I'm like, it's a cube. Like,
no, in Transformers Prime, they mentioned the Tesseract, that the Decepticons are looking for. The Tesseract was another thing. It's in one of the first 5 to 8 episodes. They specifically mentioned when they're trying to build one of their solar things. See, now you got me going on looking for the Tesseract, and so I was like, it's another side.
Her monologue.
Oh my, you sly dog! You've caught me monologuing. But yes, anyways, I would like to see us Avengers Transformers crossover.
Sweet. It's very, very cool. All right. Onyx, do another pick for us, please. One
Has
to
2
30.
square been chosen yet?
Shush.
No.
Let's do that one.
You're having him do math now. That's just not nice.
I can't do
It's
that.
arithmetic.
fair.
That's arithmetic.
Would you say
Yeah,
2
it's 4.
squared?
Yeah,
I
it's
took
2
that
square.
one.
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Or-
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? Let's go with number 1.
Okay. When did you join the fandom?
Good question. That's a
I was
great
born into
question.
it, molded by it.
I would like to say that. Yeah, that's
I
essentially
am
what
a
happened.
transformer. I am the fandom.
I remember becoming sentient and seeing transmutate on the screen for the first time. It woke me from my unconscious body and was like, that was terrifying. Never again. And that was a lie. And I think that I first introduced with Beast Wars, but that wasn't the one that got me hooked. I think what got me hooked was the 86 movie, and then there was a long period of just nothing because it was like, I have to study for school. And then when that was done, I was like, oh man, I wonder if they make a comic series about this. And I learned that they made More Than Meets the Eye comic book series. And I was like, this is my jam. About a bunch of misfits getting along, traumatic events. I'm like, I can relate. Let's do this. And yeah, so probably 2015 or 16.
Cool.
Mike, you kind of like the 86 movie, don't you?
It's all right.
It's all right.
It's pretty good.
Eh.
Maybe, I don't know.
I've
Left
seen
an
it once.
impression.
Maybe twice.
Yeah. All right. Well, Whirl, why don't you bring us home with one last pick? Hopefully it's a good one. Pick another number between 1 and 30, please.
Well, Onyx just picked 1. Has anybody done 30?
I don't
No.
think so.
Not.
No,
Alpha and
29.
Omega, let's go.
Yeah, I'll bring it home with 30 then.
I love it. We're really bracketing it too, because like, I don't know who put these questions together. It's I found it in the graveyard of Tumblr at some point years and years ago. But question number 30, what do you like about the fandom?
Oh, I think that maybe it's a cop-out answer, but I think the people I've met and the friends I've made, I mean,
I would agree.
like, yeah, Mike's right here. Mike is he's just super cool dude, and I wouldn't have met him if it weren't for Transformers.
Sure.
I have, I mean, just a lot of my current best friends I've met through either Transformers directly or the domino effect of getting into Transformers. God, yeah, no, I mean, I moved to the Seattle area in the middle of high school, which is a terrible time to move across the country. And I came to CybFest. The first year it was CybFest instead of CybCon, and met a bunch of people there, and that really helped me settle. And I think it was super important to me, and it's had a huge impact on my life. And now here we are today, right?
Love it.
So just the
Nice.
people I've met. It's cool.
Friendship bracelets, man. You know,
Friendship bracelet.
Friendship bracelet.
Yeah,
Let's go.
so
I feel
good.
like I missed something.
You missed the Swifties.
I see.
Yeah.
You said the Swifties and Kilobyte's icon suddenly got like significantly closer.
He's listening. He's always listening.
Oh my god.
That's amazing. emphasis. Well, friends, this has been a lot of great fun, but unfortunately, much like all good things, it must come to an end. Whirl and I will need to adjourn to go talk about CybFest and Transformers for another 2 hours.
Woo!
But I want to thank you all for taking the time to join us this evening. And
Of course.
any parting thoughts, any bits of wisdom you'd like to share before we part ways for now?
I'm very excited.
Stay safe out
Be
there.
yourself. Stay safe.
Be
Have
yourself,
fun.
be weird.
Be kind.
Yeah, be
nice.
weird. Don't be afraid to be weird.
But be nice, weird.
Nice weird.
Yeah.
Set boundaries.
Yes.
Yeah.
I so much wisdom. I
Yeah, there was just a bunch of like good life advice.
all the wisdom.
We appreciate you. Thank you for being
Yeah.
here.
And Haley has sent us off.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
And as always,
No,
to
thank
everyone,
you.
And then the way we usually sign off on our podcast is we sign off with "Till all are one." If you guys are
Oh,
interested.
very good. I have one coming up. So with that, and again, you can catch all of us at CybFest Northwest 2024 on August 3rd at Kent Commons Community Center. More info available at cybfestnw.com. But that
Bring
will,
your friendship bracelets.
But that will wrap things up for this episode of the Mike Seibert Radio Podcast live stream. Thank you so much for listening and for watching and for hanging out with us. And if you want to get more me, you can subscribe to Mike Seibert Radio Podcast on Apple, Spotify, TuneIn, or wherever the hell else you listen to your podcast, and check out my other show, Two Mikes, Two Furious Animated Transformers, where me and Michael Andrews talk about Transformers animated one episode at a time from two different points of view. I've never watched the show before this project, and he's a serial rewatcher. Very similar to your guys' journey with the comics there. So it's a ton of fun, and we're just about ready to wrap up season 2. It's getting real long. It's for sure. So like, share, rate, review the show. Let us know what you'd like and what you'd like to see more of in the future. For my guests from Swerve's Bar, Onyx, Clickbait, Heximus, Kilobyte, and of course my partner in CybFest crime, we need to figure out what our Jaeger name is, because compatible. Yeah. So me and Whirl are just gonna drive a Jaeger now. It's
nice.
Get a Space Needle.
Oh my god.
Thread in the needle here.
First Bar and CybFest Northwest. My name is Mike. This has been Mike Seibert Radio, and until next time, tell all
are one.
See you. Have a good day.
Time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Fade away.
Bye.
Mike Seibert Radio is recorded in Seattle, Washington. Our original theme song is written and performed by Lucia Fasano. Get her music on all streaming platforms like Spotify and Apple Music, and check out her Instagram at Lucia_Fasano. Our closing theme is a nice place to visit by these young fools, used with permission from Michael Geissler. For more music like it, check out Michael's website, bytormusic.com. Special thanks to Andy Lita for our logos and graphic design. He is at GoGoAndyRobo out on Twitter. Become Mike Cybertronian and join the MSRP Friends and Fans Facebook group. And you can follow me on all the social medias. Most of the social medias at Mike Seibert Radio. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And check out my YouTube channel for even more videos, and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Want to be a guest on the show? Send me an email, MikeSeibertRadio@gmail.com.